I would say a nerd is somebody that has interest in popular things that could be considered nerdy.
Classically nerd stuff like anime, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
20 years ago, nerd or geek was like the worst thing that you could be.
I was heavily bullied for being a weird person. Now I'm proud of it.
Games bring an energy, they uplift everyone. This has all become so mainstream, nobody hides it anymore.
Throughout the globe, there exist hidden communities where passion, creativity, and imagination blaze forth in ways that transcend the everyday. Here, in Lethbridge, Alberta, lies a thriving community of individuals who have found identity, inspiration, and camaraderie in their shared love of all things nerdy.
Which is what's out of that.
My name is Dylan Purcell. I'm the manager at Showcase Comics and Hobbies in Lethbridge.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, take it easy.
Born in Edmonton, raised in Picture Butte. I moved to Lethbridge when I was a teenager. I played rugby and soccer for sports mostly, although I love basketball. It's love-hate with basketball because I'm 5'8", 5'8.5". My whole life, I've had two hobbies, sports and nerd stuff, and I've made a living off both of them. The rest of the world doesn't have that blessing. So I played soccer my whole life. I played here in Lethbridge. My friend Bobby, who was the owner of the store, was recruiting me at the time to play on a team. Bobby had a long-term employee leave. He was like, look, I trust Dylan. Dylan knows all about all the stuff in this store, so why not see if he'll come over? I mean, I hung out here for, 30 hours a week anyways. My schedule at Showcase didn't change that much, but the thought of coming to work with my best friend has always been something that we've talked about. Being able to do it was really nice.
Always in the habit of tying my tea bag to the handle. I always see friends take off the tea bag and I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot that's like a me thing.
I'm Adrienne Mason, and I was born and raised in Lethbridge. I'm an optometric assistant. I started when I was in my last year of high school. An optometric assistant is just the assistant to the optometrist. I can do the reception work, and I can do the pre-testing. Anatomy really fascinates me. I just like how things just work together, because it's kind of like a puzzle. I love puzzles. I do Sudoku all the time. I do Wordle and connections almost every day. And that's like a puzzle that I like to do. Also, like, video games have lots of puzzles.
I've also got Animal Crossing. Tetris. We played so much Tetris when I was in high school, me and my mom. One time she said like she's had carpal tunnel because of how much Tetris we played.
My name's Inea. I was born way up north in Peace Country. Now I'm living here in Lethbridge. My parents are from Germany and Kenya. My hobbies are, I like arts of all shapes and forms. And here's like some concept art for my project that I made.
Is this your animation class?
Yeah. I like it being athletic. I like a lot of nerd stuff, or classically nerd stuff like anime, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter.
It's the hardest video game you've ever played?
I've ever played. It's so hard.
I am currently a student at the U of L. I just finished a neuroscience degree. Now I'm taking some philosophy stuff so that way I can get into law school, hopefully next year. And I'm also part of a couple nonprofits. So I made friends pretty okay in kindergarten. The troubles came when I moved schools to go to like junior high, when being popular and like cool was more a thing. At the time, my family didn't have much money. Couldn't like buy all like the cool clothes and stuff that the other kids had. All of my stuff was hand-me-downs, so I didn't really fit in too well there.
I was into a lot of nerdy stuff as a kid, like Marvel superheroes and things like that. I always wore my Captain America shirt, which had his shield on it and stuff. I was also very much into Harry Potter in like grade 9. I thought my mom would hate me for liking Harry Potter. And so I secretly made an account on Pottermore. She found out, of course. And like a loving parent, she was like, I'm gonna read this and find out what's going on. What do you like? She actually really likes Harry Potter too. When it came to school and being a nerd for different interests and hobbies, it wasn't super big in my school. I was already the uncool kid, so it didn't really matter what I was into. I was heavily bullied for being a weird person, and now I'm proud of it. But it was a very interesting time and very difficult. I lost a lot of friends during that time, so I didn't really know if they were good friends or not, or if I was a bad friend, and so it was very confusing for me. I can see a lot more now that I'm an adult, but as a kid I didn't understand.
I was bullied pretty heavily. The bullying itself, I didn't really have a problem with because, you know, there's bullies everywhere, right? And the problem was that I wasn't allowed to defend myself and the teachers didn't defend me. I don't like to bring up like racist stuff, but like I got called a bunch of racial slurs one time and I was like, hey, stop calling me, you know, this and that. And they slammed my head into a locker and then I punched him. I mean, me being like 5'2" at the time and really skinny, it didn't do anything to him. But I got in really big trouble for this and the guy didn't get any trouble. Yeah, so my parents moved me schools. And then that's where the nerd stuff started coming in. After I changed schools, that was a bit easier of a fresh start because nobody knew anything about me. So I had a kind of a pick of whatever friend group I wanted to join. So I kind of moved towards at the time I didn't know they were nerds. They were just a group I knew some people in. So I kind of gravitated towards them because they didn't look down on people.
When I was like into Marvel or Harry Potter, I found my friends that way, honestly. So it was better to be in the uncool if it means that I have really cool friends, you know?
I found out that they played a lot of Pokemon on their DSs, and Pokemon is associated with anime a lot. It's like just anime the game essentially. And since I liked anime a lot, they kind of got me to Pokemon, so I was able to vibe with them through this kind of stuff.
Oh, I still got battery.
What does it?
Oh, this brings me back.
I think in general, I just like thinking in a strategic way, and I'm also kind of competitive, so I like to do stuff that involves both. Yeah, I think at the time what drew me towards the like nerd stuff, the geeky stuff, was intellectual side. Now I think it's more, I see a beauty behind it, and it's like beautiful stuff, whether it's art or intellectual, or I still like it as an art form rather than just it being fun.
We've got such a mix of people that come in here. If you're uncomfortable just meeting new people or introducing yourself to new people, fine. I'm not. I'm very comfortable being loud. We're all very comfortable introducing you to everyone else at this store. But you won't have to hang out here long to find that group and to find that community, right? Bobby and I, we always laugh because we've got customers who come here and we're their ride home, right? Like, because they're our friends. Customer is a great word for kind of covering everything. But when you mention like building community, without that community, we wouldn't want to be here. This place stinks with no people playing. Games bring an energy, they uplift everyone, right? And we want to be involved in your lives, and when we're not, it's like, well, I hope so-and-so's okay. That's the biggest reason to host games. It's so cool to keep up with people and know what their lives are doing.
I've never helped you painting yet.
Yeah. How about you? Can you show me how to paint? I just smeared a green all over Ulik's elbow.
I have a really hard time making friends and meeting people and talking with people. So when they're like, oh, I'm into this wacky thing, I'm like, I am too. And so then that's where I kind of come out when other people say something that I can relate to. I got really supportive friends when I was in middle school. They were like, oh, you're interested in Harry Potter? So am I. And then we found that common interest and we kind of just stuck together from there. And we're still friends now and we play Dungeons & Dragons together. We get together on like some Saturday mornings and we just bring breakfast foods and we make our plans there. So they enjoy the food part for sure.
19. He pushes the door and nothing happens because you are as stiff as the door. He's like, he looks and he's like, I thought that would make more of an impact. And he doesn't even notice you there.
Pursuing to shoot that guy.
That's good. That was
Better,
really
that's
good.
way better.
Nice.
Okay, so that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16.
You killed him.
He's
dead.
He's
How do you want to do this?
So I'm old, right? So everyone remembers what comic books used to be, right? You read them, but you didn't tell anybody you read them. Dungeons and Dragons, same thing. You played it with these little pods of nerds. But if you were captain of the basketball team, captain of the volleyball team, played all these sports, you could do both. You just didn't talk about one of them as much as the other, right? I mean, everybody plays role-playing games now, right? Like everybody at least has one session of D&D. It's really stunning, and there's no more stigma attached to it, right? D&D is mainstream, Marvel superheroes are mainstream. This has all become so mainstream, nobody hides it anymore.
I think Bam has to, so roll a d20 and then add 3 to it. Please, 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 please. Critical failure.
I hit 60.
You take 4 points of piercing damage as your attempt to sneak and unsheath your weapon. As you unsheath your weapon, it comes across your arm and you slit a big gash through
And
your
I
arm.
punch him in the face.
Okay.
Wow!
You take 4 points of damage.
Dang.
I thought I was gonna be way more confused when I was playing D&D. I thought it was just gonna be like so hard to pick up and so hard to learn. But as you go, like from the jump, like it's actually really easy to get into it.
The game itself, I was excited about it for a reason, and it actually surpassed my expectations. Just like how immersive it is, right? So the imagination, the role play, the adventure, you know, how there's a storyline.
Listen, Eliwick, I need you to know something. The Nishan people are who we need to help.
I try again by killing you. Try to kill you again behind your back.
Make me a athletics check.
Oh, I'm actually pretty good at that. 20 plus 4.
You rolled a 17.
Yeah.
You rolled a 9. You rolled a 24 with a nat 20.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, everybody roll initiative for me, please.
Oh no, dude, what have you done?
I have a super vivid imagination. When I'm playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, I can imagine myself in the environment. So if we're like in a tavern, I can kind of get rid of everything that I see in person, and I can only see like the fireplace in the background or like the tavern keeper working at the bar or something like that. I can see it as if it were in real life. It's super cool.
There's actually some kind of guidelines that your imagination has to follow.
Oh, that's Roman?
So Roman does a flip, goes right behind you.
Well, here, we'll have you, Roman, right here.
You have to like play with your characters and your character's abilities and see what he can do and how he can do things. And then like there's also chance and there's luck. That also dictates how your character and the whole storyline is gonna unfold.
This was my first rough idea of what Wick looked like. She was my very first character. This was one of my favorite characters that I've ever written. His name is Tavarius.
To make a new character and then become that character is just so fun. And so I think Dungeons and Dragons is like the perfect game for me personally, just because it's got all of my strengths together into one little bubble.
For me, I love jumping into anything that can like create that childlike joy and just the enthusiasm that I think we as a group had. I think that really added to the experience. I'm really excited to go back and do this with the same people and continue to do this because it's fun.
We're about to enter the realm of Deadlift the Dark Gods Eli Mason. We're gonna edit a video. We're gonna fix all of his mistakes because he's made lots. Let's make some magic. We're gonna fix it. Let's go. All right, walk me through it.
I am Eli. At the moment I do YouTube stuff, so I make Warhammer shorts, just Warhammer lore in general. I've been playing Warhammer since I was 12. I think, and I'm 24 now. So my friend had the Assault on Black Reach Orcs versus Space Marines box set for Warhammer, and we played that, and he introduced me to that. And since then, I was a financial burden on my parents for many years to come after that, every Christmas. And then eventually it got more about like reading the books and reading the lore, and so I started enjoying all of that stuff. So this is my office where I make my YouTube videos, right here on this computer. Got my backdrop with my codexes and some models and stuff.
That's the 6th edition rulebook?
Yeah, the beginning and end are rules, and then this is all lore and stuff, which is pretty dang cool. Do a little bit of fitness stuff, and I do some coaching on the side for fitness and bodybuilding lifestyle, etc. So I put those two together, and I started making those videos, and it wasn't huge or anything, but I had like a little following, and it was fun. And then eventually I started making Warhammer lore on shorts, and I noticed that they did pretty good. Now, in the Cathedral of the Emperor Implacable, the Maligner resided, and Tychon was determined to end the war with his assassination. Hundreds of days and thousands of lives had led up to this point. The Khazarkin ran the Maligner to ground here after systematically raiding forward strongpoints, sabotaging Vox towers, severing supply lines, and assassinating the commander's adjuncts one by one. He's about to die. I'm going to kill him. This is his last turn on the face of the earth.
I mean, we're gonna lose if we play another round.
I'm Braden Mack. I'm from Lethbridge, Alberta. I am a new media student. I do some freelance work. I do a lot of work for some YouTubers. I edit some videos for them, including some Warhammer YouTubers. So my main YouTube client, if you want to call him that, is Deadlist for the Dark Gods, Eli Mason himself. He started his YouTube journey back in 2020, and I was there at the beginning to kind of help him out, because at the time he hadn't had any experience making videos, writing scripts, any of this kind of stuff.
In lockdown time, I figured I might as well just make a YouTube channel for fun, because I had the idea of making Warhammer-themed fitness videos.
Early Deadlist for the Dark Gods was hilarious, because Eli would put in our chat, I have this idea for a video, and I would read this idea and I think this guy is insane. How are you gonna do this? And one in particular always stood out to me. It was the Imperial Guard workout video.
All of the worlds of the Imperium shall look to their own defense. They shall also look to the defense of the Imperium and the persecution of such wars as the Emperor in his wisdom shall decree.
Alright fellas, we're gonna be doing the fitness test to see if we're fit for the guard.
He would go to the park and he'd be crawling on the grass and gravel, and he'd be doing jumping jacks and runs and all this like army training stuff. Send me this footage, and he's like, all right, we're gonna make this awesome. Like,
take a look at time. See how we did?
We can try. This was before he went into his kind of Warhammer Shorts phase, which is what really propelled his channel. The origins of Deadlist for the Dark Gods is always these wacky videos, which he had fun making, he had fun editing, and that's kind of, that fun factor is what gave him the motivation to continue, I think.
Got some donuts, 12 of them, sweaty.
I think it's extremely blessed that we're able to kind of work in that environment. That's also our hobby.
I make daily or every 2 days. I make a short, and I'm not even close to even running out of anything, because there's like probably hundreds of books. And then there's hundreds of just units on the tabletop that you can talk about, and then there's all the characters and all the character moments and stuff like that. So there's limitless stuff to talk about.
I got to university and I knew these guys at university, group of friends. I was over at their place one day and one of them had a Warhammer Mini on his table. And I'm like, why do you have a Khorne Berserker on your table? That was it. We played intramural soccer together. They had never mentioned Warhammer to me. We could have been playing Warhammer for months before that if I had just been a little more open about what I like in this world. None of these people we meet who we're trying to impress, if you tell them you paint little toy soldiers or that you run a Pathfinder game or a D&D game, their reaction is, I've always wanted to try that.
I didn't get into Warhammer itself as a hobby until I was at a soccer tournament, actually. So we were in Edmonton, so we were at the West Edmonton Mall, and I stumbled into a Games Workshop, and it was over for me ever since. That was my first tabletop war game experience. And ever since then, the feeling of strategy mixed in with, these are your dudes on the table, like through and through. You built them, you painted them, you crafted their story, and they make their own story through these games, which only gets richer as you play. So there's nothing quite like it.
Can you now? Go on then. Fit his base in there.
This table makes no sense.
The painting models for those tabletop games, I quite enjoy it just because I like art quite a bit. I have a whole art kind of studio set up already for my regular art. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised that there was an artsy quality to the craft. That being said, I was made fun of by my girlfriend for sitting in my room at 1 o'clock in the morning painting figurines, but that it is what it is.
The thing I love the most about the hobby is kind of I don't have one answer, I have two answers. Hanging out with your friends, and you never need an excuse. You just say, do you want to play a game of 40K, or do you want to play a game of Middle-earth, or whatever the game system you're playing. It immerses you in this world for a while. And the second thing I love about it is the painting. You can sit there and listen to an audiobook or listen to music and build or paint models all day. It's kind of like a place for healing mentally that I really like and appreciate.
Recently, we have been getting a lot more into the Middle-earth game, and I play that way more than Warhammer actually, and because I just enjoy it more.
Middle-earth battle strategy game, it's the best because there's so much nuance in it, Because every army, even if two players play the exact same faction, their armies will be different, and the way they play those armies will be completely different. And there's a ton of different factions, and then if you play doubles, it gets even more complex. It's just because it's different every single time you play it.
All right, first game of Battle of the Bridge.
Disgusting.
How did it go?
Do you want to say the score?
We lost 0-12.
0-12. It wasn't great.
It wasn't too hard to learn. It was fun to learn on the fly. The only difficult part was learning all the different stuff you could use might on, like heroic move or heroic, all the heroics. That took me a while to understand because it made no sense.
I will spend his point of free might.
The game itself was just a lot more focused around having fun and being thematical kind of, and it's very balanced, and it's great to play with friends, and we play it in tournaments and we play competitively all the time, but at the same time we all still have lots of fun, and even at these events everybody's very easygoing. It's all just very fun just because of how the game is made, just because of how well it is balanced and kind of how it feels to play.
The Middle-earth tournament is spaces rented out with a bunch of different tables where each match will happen, and you just like any other tournament of any kind, you just play people, and you round robin or a bracket style, and the winner gets a gift card or something.
For your first ever somewhat competitive Middle-earth game, you did pretty good.
Yeah.
Sure.
The tournaments are fun just because I got to play a bunch in one day and get to play a bunch of different people.
The captain is leading his men. It's a simply complex game, and it's beautiful. He can probably still kill him anyway.
True, so where should I go?
You shield there and you kill him. So Nen needs one wound.
One wound left.
Gets him.
Wow.
The mutual love of something that brings joy creates a strong connection, right? So whether you consider yourself a nerd or not, everyone has interests they share with their friends, and it's these hobbies that can create spaces for new friends.
My hobbies have definitely given me a space to be myself and show other people my interests, and then they share theirs.
As far as stigmatisms go, that some people might have around the hobby and sharing it with people, trying to find someone to be in a relationship with, I would communicate with them very early on the interests that I have and the hobbies that I would into, and it has helped me personally with finding somebody who is perfect for me to be with.
When someone asks me what I am, I usually lead with soccer and painting little toy soldiers, because those are probably the two biggest things. But I got 4 kids. I'm a dad before all of that. I got a wife. I'm a husband before I'm any of those other things. We've got customers who are looking after their aging parents and stuff like that. Look, when you ask them who they are, they're gonna mention their hobbies first, but they're not. They're looking after their aging parents first. It's all part of what makes them who they are, right?
I found when I was little, my sports friend group and my nerdy friend group were definitely two distinct groups. As we grew older, I've realized that they've started to merge a lot more. And I suspect a lot of it is they always liked each other. My sporting friends always wanted to try it, they just never did, and vice versa.
talking about all this different stuff you enjoy makes it more enjoyable, you know, sharing with other people. And it just so happens that my soccer friend group were really into the fantasy side of my stuff. I thought they were just the cool kids, just like every other like sports person. But then I found out they were not, well, they were still cool, you know. Ray was kind of, he's cool to me.
So most things, if you come here, we have something in store that we can get, that we can access you to, some way of getting community. Come hang out here. Come to paint night. Pick your D&D character now. Grab a monster or something. Hang out here. Talk to people. You come in here to buy something, you are passionate about it. It is taking money that you could spend on anything, and you chose to spend it on the stuff that we also like. So when you talk about building community, it's real easy because we're all in love with the same stuff. And no matter how weird it is, and a lot of it is really weird, but it's so much fun. We have so much fun in this store that they've got full social lives thanks to hanging out here. And a lot of them have met lifelong friends here. So I'm quite happy about that.
I'm falling from the sky, my mind is faded up so high. My angel stayed in Neptune with her wings. Here come my demons with their shields. There's something about these sun rays, it makes all these demons go away. Now the light is shining, so I'll come out with my crew. Kill your president and government so I can show you. Now I'm supersonic, supertonic, up above you.